You touched on an interesting point there around after hours. I mean, is there such a thing as after hours anymore? You know, with people working. Actually, before we hit the record button, we are talking about how work, I guess, how work has changed. And that probably does also relate to the hours that people are working. You know, whether it is early mornings, late at night, or whatever the case may be. If they need to do homeschooling, for example, during the day, also on the flip side of that, organizations are starting to realize that and managers and executives, I guess, starting to realize they don't need to micromanage or really, and the trust is now there with their employees as well.
Yeah, I think it used to be managing by control. Now it's more management by trust. And like you said, the concept of work has changed so much. A couple of years ago, 2 years ago, when I used to say I'm going to work, that meant stepping into the car and going into an office, whether that's the Microsoft office or a customer or a Microsoft partner. That's what work meant, or going to work meant. Now means going to work means a set of activities, right? So you're doing things instead of going somewhere. So I think that's a big change. In the first few months of the pandemic, we could really see that people were logging on earlier and logging off later, because they felt the need to prove that they were actually working while sitting at home. And I think that's slowly changing. And people are starting to like it. If we look at some of the research that we're doing with our work trend index, we're seeing that people are actually enjoying the fact that they can be home. They can be fully be themselves, right? I'm here, so you can't see it, but I'm here in shorts, no socks, right? I would never do that. Going to the
Sounds like my attire.
I would do it. Right? Yeah, right. So they enjoy that. They enjoy being around their family, picking up their kids from school, taking them to school. They enjoy being around their pets, right? They enjoy being able to step out and run some errands or whatever you need to do. So that's a big plus. But now I think we need to make the shift more to asynchronous working. Just an example, right? I always take my kids to school in the morning. Summer break now, but usually I take my kids to school in the morning. So I don't start my work day until 9ish, right? 9ish, 9:30ish. That's when my first meetings are. However, I have someone that on my team that enjoys working very early. They like to start at 6, but end a little bit early, right? So you don't always have to be working in the at the same times to get work done. Right? So what I'm seeing now that we're working more async is that we can get more stuff done, and the meeting part of it is becoming a lot more efficient. So whereas you often needed like 45 minutes or maybe 60 minutes to have a meeting, now we're using meetings just as a decision moment.
Yeah.
Right. So it's okay. So let's work on the strategy of whatever. Okay. So what work does that bring along with it? And what decisions do we need to make? Do we need to make? We can already start doing the work and really approach meetings more from a life cycle perspective. Right. So there's a before, during, and after. And before, you can do all the pre-work. And then during the meeting, you can really start making decisions, or come up with action points to do next. And then after the meeting, you can follow up on those. So you don't have to be in meetings for hours and hours and hours long. And you can basically do most of the work in your own time, and then meet for like 5 or 10 minutes to really make decisions on what needs to happen next.